Hello guys, good evening. So are you ready sa final coaching ng Medtech laws, medical technology laws? So I have prepared a few questions for you guys at kung sino man ang unang mamaya may mga pa-question ako. So let's see at magpapa-prize ako even though this is recorded. Sige, let's see. Let's start. Okay. So, first question, yan, sana taga-basa ng question. Anyway, ako na lang. So, amendments were made by RA 6132 on which of the following sections? Yan. So, yan, there are amendments in RA 5527. So, doon tayo magsisimula at honestly, doon rin tayo matatapos. Okay? Walang kasawaang RA 5527. And amendments are very important. Updates in laws are very important. Okay? At tinatanong talaga yan sa board exam. So, which of the following section? So, 5 seconds, 3 seconds to answer. And the correct answer is letter D. Okay. So, let's see. What are the laws and presidential decrees that amended your RA 5527? So, here, I made a summary. Yan. So, screenshot nyo na lang, guys. So, for 6138, so 1970, so this one was the first amendment. Tapos, 4 years later, PD 498, and another 4 years later is 1978. Yan. So, 444. Okay? So, every after 4 years. Kung kunyari, gusto nyo talagang lahanin yung date is it's 1970, 1974, and 1978. So, yung pinakamaraming amendment, guys, is yung PD. So, yan. So, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 11, 13, 16, 17, 21. And for 6138, 16, 21, 22 only. For the last amendment, we have 3, 8, and 30. Yan. So, ayun. So, if you want, I don't know kung memorize ko to when I had a board exam. I did the board exam, but I think I memorized the numbers. Yan. I was desperate. Natakot talaga ako bumagsak noon. So, let's proceed. Yan. So, that's question number 1. So, amendments were made by PD 1534. So, 3, 8, and 13. Yan. Anong sagot yun? Letter E. Question number 2. Bilis natin. Okay. Next. Yan. So, which of the following is correct regarding Universal Healthcare Act? Yan. So, actually, lahat ng batas na if they are aligning it to Universal Healthcare Act, and that's a good thing because yan, so this now, yan, itong RA 11223. Yan, huwag nyo kakalimutan yun, 11223. Eh, napaka-landmark na batas talaga yun. At talagang health facilities, laboratories, molecular labs are included as a new classification because it's a part of Universal Healthcare Act. Ang raming nagbabago dahil sa Universal Healthcare Act. And dapat lang alam talaga natin kung ano yung batas na yun. Okay? It's a very important update for Medtech laws. So RA 11223. Yan. Sa puso't sa isip niyan, February 2020, 19 to 2019. 11223. Yan. So, ang batas kalusugan pangkalahatan. Yan. So, question number 4, guys. So, let's move forward. An act regulating and modernizing the practice of medical technology in the Philippines, reappealing for this purpose, Public Act numbers 5527, 6132, 498, and 1532. And for other purposes, is called Senate Bill 2722, otherwise known as yan. So, guys, they're trying to do this. Yan. So, there was this Senate Bill 2722, and they're trying to reappeal. Ito yung mga pinag-usapan natin in questions 1 and 2, ang 557, 6132, 498, 1534. Okay? So it's hopefully talaga hindi na lang maging Senate bill to. So what was the name of this Senate bill? Yan. So, Medical Technology Act of 2009. So, ang sad kasi 2023 na hindi pa rin pinapansin itong bill na to. Okay? So, ito sana yung pinaka-updated na Medical Technology Act. Pero apparently, hindi pa rin umuusad ang Senate Bill 2722. Okay. So, yan si ang nag-file nito guys, si Senador Angara, I think Sunny Angara, yan. So, sabi ng teacher ko, iboto daw natin si Sunny Angara, but I don't know if that's the case kasi hindi naman umusad itong batas na to, okay? Na-file lang, pero hindi na umusad. Yan. So, yun, nakakaya guys, kasi yung RA 5527 is sobrang tagal na. Though there are a lot of reappeals, yan, they're already reappealing it. But, we need a brand new law for that. Okay? Walang hazard pay sa Medtech Act, sa RA 5527. Yan. At marami pang kailangang i-revise. So, yan. For this case, yan, wala talaga. Kailangan nating i-review ang RA 5527. So, let's have this question number 5. To which of the following, naharangan yung to which of the following will the Board of Medical Technology refuse the issue of Certificate of Registration? So, COR. So, guys, when you will pass the board exam, they will give you a COR or Certificate of Registration saying you're a registered medical technologist. So, itong COR, guys, hindi to na-expire. Okay? Hindi to na-expire. Ang na-expire, PRC ID. Okay? So, you will always have your certificate of registration. However, there are cases wherein the board will refuse to give you a COR. So, merong mga criteria on why they would refuse giving a COR. And actually, our COR also could be suspended. It could be revoked. However, it could also be reissued. Pwede namang bumalik. Yan. So, ganon. So, yun ang COR natin. So, ayan. So, let's see. So, alin daw dito ang hindi bibigyan ng COR? Okay? So, 1, examinee A who passed the board exam but is convicted in court due to a criminal offense of estafa. Examinee B, a graduate from the US practicing medical technology for 5 years in the Philippines. Yan, graduate daw sa US. Number 3, 22-year-old examinee C, a board passer from University of Baguio who had tuberculosis. And examinee D, a 20-year-old Medtech board passer who is diagnosed as having schizophrenia. And V, 5, a 60-year-old examinee diagnosed with Alzheimer's who passed the board exam. Yan, sagutan natin. So, there are 3 criterias on the board of refusing to give someone a certificate of registration even though they have passed. Yan. Or, yan. So, dapat they have passed the exam. Yan. So, yung 2, examinee be a graduate from the US, yan, practicing medical technology for 5 years in the Philippines, yan. So, this one, examinee B has no right to be practicing medical technology because they are graduate from US and they have not he has not taken the board examination. So, yan, X na agad itong examinee B. Actually, hindi pa siya makakwalify mag-exam because you should have you should have graduated to a qualified medical technology school in the Philippines. Yan. Examine A, convicted in court due to a criminal offense. Yan. So, examine A will not be given a COR kasi sabi, if you are convicted, yan, convicted na siya. So, siya na yung siya ay guilty of estafa. Yan, you will not be issued a COR. Yan. So, sabi niya, if convicted by the court of any criminal offense involving moral turpitude. So, I googled ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng moral turpitude. Criminal offense involving moral turpitude. Actually, ang raming crimes of moral turpitude. Manslaughter, estafa, forgery, yan, marami actually, sabi nila, vague daw yung ibig sabihin ng moral turpitude. Yan, so they are, what else if they are guilty of immoral conduct, they do not have a sound mind. So, X na tong examine D who has schizophrenia and Alzheimer's disease. Yan, so if they do not have a sound mind, they won't be given a COR. Yan. However, guys, 3 from University of Baguio who had tuberculosis will be given a COR. So, ang sagot dito, only one will be given COR. So, the board will not give the COR to someone who has incurable communicable disease. Okay? Pero tuberculosis is curable naman. Yeah. So, they would be given a COR. Yan. Who is, number 6 na tayo, who is the chairman of the Council of Medical Technology Education? So, the Council of Medical Technology Education is very important because they set the standards on the quality of medical technology education in the Philippines. Yan. So, ito yung mga ayokong minimemorize noon, Council of Medical Technology, Board of Medical Technology, yan, yung dalawang yan. But, if you will just pause and understand, guys, dito sa final coaching natin, the Council of Medical Technology Education, they focus everything about education. Okay? Yung mga Board of Medical Technology, they are about the board exam. Tapos, pag nakuha mo na yung COR mo, ganyan sila yung in charge. If you were to suspend it or whatnot. So, ganun. Mamaya, let's see. I'll have a list. So, sa education, sino ba dapat ang head ng education as a whole, hindi lang Medtech, yan. Of course, that's SHED, yan. Commission of Higher Education, yan. So, they are the chairman. They are in charge of lahat ng mga civil engineering, accountancy, guys, SHED talaga ang in charge. Okay, so they are the chairman. Yan. So the composition of your Council of Medical Technology Education was amended by your PD 1534. Yan. So CHED ang chair, vice chair is the PRC commissioner, and director of BRL, Bureau of Research Laboratories, Board of Medical Technology, President of Philippine Society of Pathologists, PAMET, PASME, yan. So, kasama sila sa education. So, they set the standards of the medical technology education. So, they require the minimum curriculum, yan, kung ano yung mga iti-take nyo. So, sinama nila molecular bio. So, dapat kasama na yun sa board exam. Determine the number of medtech students, the facilities, and the refresher course, guys. Pag bumagsak sa board exam. Yan. Wala yun dito. Okay? So, let's continue on. So, now, dito naman tayo, medyo sideline lang tayo sa clinical laboratory law. So, AO 2007, yan, or AO 27 series of 2007, updated yung clinical laboratory law, which is RA 4688. Yan. So, at least, di ba, naging updated. However, in response to Universal Healthcare Act, which of the following AO updated the minimum standards and technical requirements for licensing clinical laboratories? Okay, so guys, yung clinical laboratory law, sobrang ikli lang nito guys. Kung i-google nyo, RA 4688, ang minimemorize natin yung nagde-dictate ng private lab, government lab, tama, yung mga freestanding, based on functions, primary, secondary, tertiary, yung minimemorize natin na yun, guys, galing AO 27/2007 yun. So, yung floor requirements, 10 square meters, 20, so on, minimum requirements of equipments. So, yun yung AO 27 series of 2007. But now, guys, so there is a brand new way of classifying your laboratories. At anong letter ang sagot? Yan. So it's AO 37. Yan. Na-update ng, nag-level up ng 10 points. Yan. So AO 37 series of 2001. Okay? So I know nagdadagdagan yung mga batas na kailangan yung i-memorize. However, this is very important, guys, in the update of our clinical laboratory. Yan. So, meron na tayong, ay, nasa na yun? Yan. So, mamaya, the next slide. So, bago na tayong classification. Okay? So, sige, mamaya, in a while, I'll discuss AO 37 series of 2007. So, my next question is based on AO 2021 is 37. Which of the following is, ito na nga daw, updated classification by function of clinical laboratory? Yan. Sige, Google, search. Ano na daw yung pinaka-updated na classification by function? Primary, secondary, tertiary services, ba? Clinical pathology, anatomic pathology, molecular biology, clinical pathology, naging tatlo na ba? Anatomic, molecular, and nuclear, naging apat ba? Clinical pathology, anatomic pathology, molecular biology. We have clinical pathology, anatomic pathology, and special laboratory science. So, ano ang sagot? It's letter B. Yan. So, back then, guys, so, yung dati, ang classification by function lang is clinical pathology, anatomic pathology, and special laboratory services. So, andito na sa special, guys, yung molecular lab, mga forensic molecular, ganyan. So, anything that is that are special services done in the laboratory, yung mga fertilization clinic, guys. So, it's under special laboratory. Pero, ayun, nabuwag na yun. Nangyari, tatlo na. Pathology, clinical, anatomic, and molecular lab. So, molecular pathology yan. So, this is the updated 3 already. Okay, so based on ownership, pareho pa rin, government and private, institutional character, institution-based, and non-institution. Service capability, naging secondary, primary, secondary, tertiary, and limited. Yan, naging limited. Meron na dagdag na limited. Mamaya, I'll show you it. Yan. So here, so ito yung by service capability of a clinical pathology. So I pasted this from the AO 37. Yan, naloka ako kasi ba't may mga itim-itim. So hindi mo makita yung word na primary, secondary, tertiary, and limited. Yan. So ito na yung bagong classification nila. So sa primary, guys, mapapansin nyo, itong clinical chemistry, yan, even in the primary lab, present na siya, which is correct naman, 'di ba? Kasi dati ganito naman talaga 'yun. Even the primary lab has lipid profile, CREA, BUN, 'yan. So back then, itong mga 'to nasa secondary laboratory, 'yan. So actually pati ang mga TB or nucleic acid amplification is also in the primary lab. Yan. So guys, ito na po yung updated, okay? Pregnancy kit, yan. And let's be honest, guys, serology is not only present in the tertiary lab, in the secondary, 'di ba? Back then naman talaga it's in the primary. So, at least naman 'di ba na-update yung batas kasi ginagawa naman ng mga primary lab kasi kit lang naman 'to. You don't need extensive machinery to perform this dengue, syphilis, and so on. Okay? So, these are all the tests in your primary laboratory. Na-update na po siya in your AO 37 series of 2021. Yeah. So, secondary, yung electrolytes, enzymes, we have PT and APTT. So, it's not only in tertiary. Yan. Totoo naman eh. When I was in a secondary lab, we have PT and APTT. Ang liit-liit lang na makina to. Gram stain and KOH is part of a secondary laboratory. So, I think na-move to. Okay, I think we could do this in the primary. Pero in the secondary na siya. Okay, and the tertiary, arterial blood gases, yan. Culture and sensitivity, yan, are only found in the tertiary. So we have limited services in some of the laboratory. They test for hormones, trace metal, tumor markers, yan, they allowed it. Malaria smear, filarias, yung mga blood nematodes, slit skin smear, and RPR. Okay. So, yan na ang updated na service capability classification. Okay. So, this is a brand new AO ulit. Which of the following administrative order set the guidelines in securing a license to open a COVID-19 testing laboratory in the Philippines? Yan. So guys, I want to sincerely apologize dahil marami kayong mini-memorize. I understand that. Pero ewan ko ba, pag tumatanda tayo. So, pagtatanda na rin kayo, guys, you would care about loss. Yan. Kasi, you would be concerned, ewan ko, napabago yung priority pag tumatanda. So, dati wala akong pakialam sa mga batas, sa mga policies, sa mga standards. But as I'm maturing, as I'm growing in wisdom, mas nagkakaroon ako ng pakialam sa mga batas. Kasi nga, guys, kung gumagawa ng updated na batas ang Pilipinas, we should applaud that because there are guidelines. Meron tayong guide. Kasi kung hindi sila gumagawa ng batas about an issue, ibig sabihin hindi mahalaga. Okay? Kaya yung natin, RA 5527, yan wala pa ring Medtech Act of 2009. Yan, kasi hindi priority. Yan. So ito, naipasa siya kasi priority. Ayan. So, it's a good thing. Okay? So, yan. So, we need guidelines and policies for COVID-19 testing laboratory. Alangan ng mga underground COVID-19 testing lab. Okay? So, pinapamemorize ko to sa mga mall bio class ko. It's AO 14 series of 2020. At maaga tong batas na to, ang bilis, 2020. So, just a year after the start of, this is actually early. Kasi, dapat start pa lang ng COVID and dinadraft na nila agad. Yan. So, 2020, naipasa na. So, yun, 14 series of 2020, the importance of establishing RT-PCR testing facilities. Grabe, no? So, back then, RT-PCR is not a thing. We just talk about it. We hope about it, but because of the COVID pandemic, this is a blessing that our RT-PCR real-time reverse transcription PCR is a thing already. It's already a normal thing. Dati sobrang special siya. So what initiated this? Because of new confirmed cases, how many people are who died. So good itong batas na to. Yan, 2020. So, next guys, yan, balik naman tayo ulit sa RA 5527. So, they failed to pass the recent board examination for medical technologies. His examination results were as follows. Yan. So, what made him fail the board exam? Sa ISBB, 74, Chem, 85, Histopath, 90 naman, Hematology, 72, CM, 88, Micro, para 73. Yan. So, notice, guys, I think, tama ba? Major subjects itong mga to. Yan, IS. Ang minor histo and CM, right? 10% siya. Yung mga weight nitong ISBB is 20%, weight ng hematology 20%, and weight ng micropara is also 20%. So, what was the ground for failing for the board examination? Yan. If you would add this, would it result to is 75? Yan. Most probably yes, kasi may 90 siya eh. Yan. He got a rating lower than 73 in hematology, letter B. Letter C, he failed 60% of the board exam subjects. Letter D, he didn't fail. He should go to PRC for recomputation. So, he failed the 60% board examination subjects. Yan. So, malaki yung weight nitong mga to. So, what are the criterias for failing a medical technology exam, 'di ba? So, dapat you have a rating more than 75% based on the general weighted average. So, kailangan i-multiply mo times 20 yung mga major and times 0.10 yung mga minor exam, 'di ba? So, yan, meron pala ako dito sa next na slide. So, there should be no rating below 50% actually in your major subjects and no grade less than 75 in 60% of the weighted average. So, yan. So, if there's failure up to 3 times, we'll need a refresher course. Yan. So, for the brand new policies of PRC, they want now to be very intentional kung sino yung mga need ng refresher course. They want to ensure na talagang nagre-review ulit, I think. Yan, nagre-refresher course talaga itong mga 3 beses na bumagsak. And I think there is a need for internship. Yan. Not 12 months and 12 months. Yan. So, yan. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nakalimutan ko na. Pero I think tama yun. Okay. Question 11. Raymar de la Cruz. So, Raymar de la Cruz is a 19 years old. He passed the Medtech board exam, and it was a moment of triumph for him. Since the previous year, his reputation was tainted by case filed against for being involved in a bar fight. Will the board medical technology issue his certificate of registration? Yan. So, remark. Letter A, never, because he had a court case filed against him. But was he convicted though? Kasi kailangan mo-convict. Letter B, never, because he was 19 years old when he took the board exam. Now, letter C, not yet, because he is still below the age of 21 years old. And letter D, not yet, because the bar fight showed that he did not have a sound mind. Yan. So, ano kayong sagot, guys? Think, think, think. So, letter C. Yan. So, when you're still 19, meron pa bang less than 21 years old dito, guys? So, you will not yet, di pa ibibigay yung COR mo. So, on your 21st birthday, doon ka na pwede pumunta sa PRC at kunin yung COR mo. Yan. So, actually, that's what happened to me. I think 20 years old lang ako nung pumasa ako ng board exam. So, yan. Pero nagtrabaho ako na walang COR, pinayagan naman nila. Okay, number 12. How many working hours weekly is required in government and private hospital or clinic personnel as per RA 5901? Yan. So, 5901 is the act of prescribing, ilan kaya? How many hours is the prescribed hours na kailangan mag-work lang daw ang mga personnel in the hospitals, in the clinic? Dapat 40 hours lang. Okay? So, actually, that's so sa government, siguro. Yan. But sometimes that's far from the truth. Diba? Kasi a lot of residents, a lot of, minsan, pag talagang na-under na yung staff, kailangan mag-OT. But there should only be regular work hours, which are 8 hours a day, 5 times a week equals 40 hours. Yan. At pag gabi na, yung duty is there should be a night differential. Yan. So, could you search what time? Yan. Anong oras ba? Anong oras nagbibigay ng night differential? What's your duty for someone to receive a night differential? Okay. Number 13. So, that's RA 5901. Okay. So, let's go back to the Council of Medical Technology. Which of the following is not a function of the Council of Medical Technology Education? So, letter A, to recommend the minimum required curriculum. Letter B, to formulate and recommend approval of refresher courses. Letter C, to inspect where necessary the different medtech schools in the country. And letter D, to refuse the issuance of COR. Yan. To who is convicted by court. Yan. So, ano ang hindi ginagawa ng Council of Medtech Education? Of course, it's letter D. Yan. Board of Medical Technology ang gumagawa nan. Okay. Yan. Hindi ko na, yan. Huwag niyo muna tignan. Who issues the Certificate of Registration of Medical Technologies? Yan. Who issues? Yan. All of the above. So, yung COR natin, who issues it? It's the chairman of the board, the member of the board, and PRC commissioner. Yan. So, ayan, tingnan natin. So, guys, kasama ang PRC Commissioner. So, here in this right part, this is the sa Board of Medical Technology naman to. So, the chair is a pathologist. So, pinaka-updated na list. So, please, pakisulat nyo. Yan, ginugol ko to. So, Dr. Marilyn A. Cabal Barza, Doc Barza, is the chair. Yan, she's a pathology. Miss Leila Lani Florento is a member. Ito, si Ma'am Leila, medyo matagal na, pero sobrang supportive talaga nito. Yan, so, there should be a Board of Medical Technology who is present pag kayo mag-oath taking. Yan. Or a authorized representative. Pero yan, pag nag-organize kami ng PAMET, ng oath taking, yan, here in Baguio City. So, nagtatawag kami ng Board of Medical Technology. Yan. So, yan. So, the board is approved and appointed by the President of the Philippines. Yan. So, yan, appointed sila. So, the only person who has the authority to remove them from office is also the President of the Philippines. And the term of office is 3 years. Yan. So guys, kayo ba? Pangarap nyo ba? Naisip nyo ba ever maging board of medical technologists? So you would be the one to crack questions for the medtechs. Yan. So, nung una, wala talaga to sa isip ko. Pero I had a teacher, guys, who became a board of medical technologies. Naging board daw siya. And back then, guys, the work was not fancy. So, talagang nasa isang building lang daw sila ng PRC. They were not housed in a fancy hotel, yan. Hindi masyadong comfortable nung Board of Medical Technology siya. So, kailangan, talagang you will allot months to become a Board of Medical Technology. Talagang ang alam ko, hindi ka makikipag-usap talaga sa mga kamag-anak mo. Yan. But I think mas okay na yung conditions ng pag magiging Board of Medical Technologist ka. Yan. So, Dr. Grace daw is on leave. So far, sa mga list na nakikita ko sa internet, Doc Barza and Doc Florento lang ang sinasabi nila. Si Calzada daw is on leave. Yan. So, ang magpapabalik sa kanya, si BBM lang. So, who could be a board of medical technologists? Yan. So, practice of lab medicine or medtech for at least 10 years prior to appointment. Yan. So, ako guys, 9 years na ako na medtech. Yan. Kundi na lang, magiging board of medical technologists na ako. But, you should not be a faculty for at least 2 years prior to the appointment. So, you should not be attached to a review center, to a university. Yan. So, dapat mag-quit muna ako sa teaching job bago ako maging board. Kasi to remove any bias. To remove any bias. Yan. So, okay. So, yan, function, they would administer the provision of RA 5527. They would administer the oath. They would issue a COR, suspend it, investigate violence. So, they would craft the questions for the medtech examination. Yan. Wala yun sa RA 5527. Pero yun ang ginagawa rin nila. Okay, number 15. So, the renewal of clinical laboratory license, ayan, is done every 6 months, 2 years, annually, 3 years. Yan, dapat alam na natin. So, dapat annually. Okay. So, yan. Busy ang mga chief medtech guys. Especially before the end of the year because they have to renew the license of a clinical lab every year. Okay. So, walang excuse yun. And actually, because of the universal healthcare, nagiging stringent na talaga ang HFSRB in the requirements of a clinical lab. And yung bali-balita sa akin, it's becoming burdensome. Yan. Number 16, which of the following is incorrect? Yan. So, I've listed different laws here. Yan. Ano ang hindi nagmamatch with the title and the Republic Act? Sige nga. 5527, registration of medtechs. 8504, newborn screen. 8981, Modernization Act. For PRC, RA 9165, Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Yan. So, ang mali dyan is yung newborn screening. Yan. It should be 8981. Let's talk about newborn screening later. Yan. But your newborn screening should be performed in our neonates within 24 hours of their life. Yan. Nag-screen na agad tayo at napakaganda talaga ng newborn screening because we are preventing deaths and serious complications from metabolic disorders. Yan. So, this is a cost-effective way, guys, of the government to kasi nga prevention is better than cure, 'di ba? Prevention is cheaper than cure. Yan. So, by detecting it very early on, many Filipinos, guys, live a healthy life because of newborn screening. Yan. RA 8981. Okay. A candidate number 17 must not fail in at least blank of the subjects computed according to their relative weight. Yan, basahin. So, a candidate must not fail in at least how many percent of the subjects computed according to their relative weight. Okay. So, anong sagot dyan? So, wrong na, guys, pag 75%. So, dapat cut it off. Yan. Kasi hindi naman tinatanong kung ano yung failure less than, could not fail in less than 75%. This is not the question, okay? The question is 60% of its relative weight. Yan. So, 60% dapat wala ka nang fail. Number 18. How often are the clinical laboratories in the far-flung areas are inspected? Number yan. So, how about strict sila sa mga clinical laboratory in the cities. But how about in the far-flung areas? How often are they inspected? As necessary, 6 months, every year, 2 years, and 3 years. What do you think? Okay, ang sagot guys, every year pa rin. Okay, so kahit malayo, ang trabaho pa rin ng HFSRB, Health Facility Services, Regulatory Bureau under DOH, guys, is to visit talaga every year lahat ng laboratories in the Philippines nationwide. Okay, so yan ang trabaho nila. Talagang taon-taon kahit malayo. Okay. Number 19. Which of the following is the NRL that could be tapped for analytical toxicology, drug testing, and water testing? So, NRLs are your National Reference Laboratory. So, alin? Kanina mo isa-send. Yan. Pag drug testing, water analysis, kanino daw? Okay, the answer is East Avenue Medical Center. Yan. So, micronutrient assay, drugs, water, metals, guys. Yan. Sa water, East Avenue Medical Center yan. For lung center, it's about clinical chemistry. Yan. Sila ang nagbibigay ng specimen for NECWAS. National Kidney and Transplant Institute naman, guys, for hematology. San Lazaro Hospital, para sa mga STD, HIV. So, true or false, guys? Confirmatory testing for HIV is sent to San Lazaro Hospital. To the NRL for HIV, which is San Lazaro. Do we still give? Yan, mamaya malalaman natin. Yan, do San Lazaro still perform confirmatory test for HIV kaya? Yan. Based sa updates ng mga batas natin. And of course, ang isa pang NRL natin, guys, is RITM. Yan. So, parasitology, acid fast, bacteriology, TB, transfusion, transmissible infection sa RITM yan. Mga blood units, we could send it to RITM. Yan. So, ewan ko, hindi ko na-anticipate. Ang dami kong questions about Medical Technology Board, Council of Medtech Education, and also our Bureau of Health Facilities and Services. So my question is, match the functions of each group or organization. Yan. So dapat, dahil sa final coaching natin, memorize yun na yung functions kung Medtech Board, Council of Medical Technology, or Bureau, ginagawa ba ito ng DOH. Okay, number 1, formulate refresher course. Yan, letter C. Investigate violations of RA 5527. Yan, all about relation to COR, di ba? A, Medtech Board. Yan. So, if you want to know the answer, i-mute mo na lang ako. Suspend, if you want to answer it on your own. Suspend, cancels, or revokes for a determined period of time the license and authority of the offending person if the laboratory concerned is guilty of any complaints. Yan. So, this is not about the person, but a laboratory as a whole, guys. Determined period of time, the license authority of the offending persons if offending person naman, if the laboratory is guilty of okay. So, determine the period of time, the license, and authority of the offending. So, it's about the person. Yan. So, Medtech Board pa rin. Pag ang may kasalanan, the laboratory as a whole, BFHSRB could revoke the license. Example, they claim that they are doing RT-PCR. However, they are just doing antigen testing. Yan. So, they could revoke the license of the laboratory. Yan. So, not sure of the medtech, but that's a negligence, act of negligence. Pero, kung ganun, ang may problema, laboratory as a whole, yan, BHFSRB ang may problema. Pero, kung yung tao, yan, Medtech Board. Administer oaths, yan, the board. Number 5, recommended the minimum curriculum, that's education. So, CAAD. Okay, next, inspect the Medtech schools. Siyempre, education, secures an approved permit to construct the design layout of a clinical lab. Yan, so BHFS. Number 9, prescribes the qualification and training of medtechs as to fields of the profession. Prescribe the qualification, yan, education to. Prepares the schedule of subjects for examination. Number 10, yan. They prepare, alin kaya? Medtech Board. Schedule of examination. Yan. So, regarding sa examination, that's the Medtech Board. Number 11, certifies 3 months of training of physicians. Yan. Training of physicians. So, letter B, Bureau of Health Facilities and Services. Number 21. Identify the section numbers of the following titles. Yan. So, out of my fear talaga, minemorize ko to. So, tara, let's go over it. Compensation of members of Board of Examiners for Medical Technology. So, according to the PD, yan, is that di ko alam kung update na to. Board of Examiners will receive 10 pesos. Yan. So, back then, 10 pesos on each examinee. So, right now, 3,000 na ang mga examinee. So, I doubt kung 10 pesos pa rin nare-receive nila. So, that's good naman kasi mahirap na maging Board of Examiner. Okay. So, anong section yan? Foreign reciprocity. Yan. So, this still doesn't happen. So, a foreign national could practice here in the Philippines if we could practice inter-country. Yan. So, diplomatic naman ng Pilipinas. Pero, this hasn't happened yet. Oath-taking, so it should be administered by a Medtech or any board of medical technologists or any person authorized by the board. So, usually sa PRC, pwede kayong mag-oath-taking doon. Qualification for examination, good moral character, graduate of a degree, Medtech degree here in the Philippines. Qualification. Number 5, reinstatement, reissue, and replacement. So, the board could reissue your certificate if it was suspended. Yan, upon request. So, anong section yan? Kayo nang maghanap. Section 4, Section 27, Section 20, 16, and 26. Yan. You could make a flashcard out of this. Yan. Rating in the examination. So, dapat 75%. Yan. No failure. At least 60% of the GWA. No grade below 50%. Roster of medical technologists. So, when we say roster of medical technologists, the list of the registered medical technologists in the Philippines. Yan. So, lahat ng medtech may roster, may listahan. So, eventually, mapupunta doon yung mga pangalan nyo. Okay? So, it is prepared by the Secretary of the Board of Medical Technologies. Yan. So, yun, dapat. So, legit yung medtech kung andun yung pangalan niya sa roster, sa list of medical technologists. Ang section niya. Number 8, composition of the Council of Medical Technology. Sinong chair ulit? Ang CHED. Vice Chair, PRC. Number 9, examination. So, this is the schedule of the examination. Twice a year, di ba? As of now, March and August. And so, August ako nag-exam. So, if there are less than 50 applicants in a regional office, there is the postponement of the exam. The application, the deadline, so kung mag-apply kayo guys, it's 20 days before the exam. And the requirements are your TOR, NSO birth certificate. Kung married, kailangan ng NSO marriage certificate, cedula, itong cedulang to, passport size picture, and payment. So, sa RA 5527, nakalagay 90 pesos. Yan. So, magkano na ba ang exam ngayon? And number 10, accreditation of schools of medical technology of training laboratories. So, the one who are in charge for the schools are monitored by your CHED. Okay, take note. Tapos, yung mga accredited laboratory are monitored by your BHFS, yan, Bureau of Health Facilities and Services. So, 19, 28, yan yung mga section nila. So, yan, section 3, ang taas sa section itong Council of Medical Technology. Okay. So, yan, ito, medyo shortcut na. Guys, match the following blood bank laws. So, ang dami, guys. So, try lang natin. So, merong blood banking law. Alin na ang blood banking law? We have National Blood Services Act of 1994. So, this is very important. Itong national blood banking law muna tayo. Yan. Blood banking law because it promotes voluntary blood donation. It regulates the blood bank in the Philippines. Yan. Tapos, rules and regulations of implementing 7719. What's that? rules and regulation of governing the regulation of blood service facilities. I'll show you later ano yung mga blood service facilities, and phasing out of freestanding blood bank outlets. Yeah. So freestanding blood banks are phased out already. So, ibig sabihin, all blood banks are attached to a institution, specifically a hospital. Yan. So, blood bank ba ang Red Cross, guys? Freestanding yon. Yan. Therefore, hindi siya blood bank. Yan. So, blood banks perform compatibility testing. Yan. So, for AO, Administrative Order 8, Series of 2008, yan, it's literally rules and regulations of Blood Services Facility, Blood Bank Law 157, 1517, 7719, National Blood Services Act, yan, of 1994. AO 26 of 1990. So, yung pinakaluma, guys, yung phasing out of freestanding blood bank outlets. Yan. Because back then, they are profiting. Yan, people are profiting. And, exploiting those who are vulnerable, who are poor. Yan. So, binabayaran nila yung mga tao dati na mag-donate ng blood. Yan, back then. So, that's why marami ang HIV. So, how do you classify Philippine Red Cross Baguio Chapter, where they recruit and collect blood from donors, test the units, however, they do not perform compatibility testing. Anong tawag? Sa mga Philippine Red Cross around the country. Nilagyan ko lang ng Baguio Chapter. They only recruit and collect blood from donors and test the units for blood transmitted infection. They are a blood center. Yan. So, what are the different terminology? So, pag blood station ka, you store, issue, transport, and distribute whole blood and pack RBC, compatibility testing of red cell unit if hospital-based. So, ako baka din, nag-work ako sa isang hospital, yan. Hindi kami nagko-collect, guys, ng blood unit, yan. So, dinadala lang sa hospital. So, we were a blood station. Yan, yun lang yung namin, classification. BCU, blood collection unit, they only collect and recruit blood donors. Yan. They screen it. They could be mobile or facility-based. Yan. Mga blood collection unit. No? Mga blood collection unit. Yan. Definitely not PRC, okay? So, magkaibang blood collection unit. And blood bank. So, they store, they issue, they perform compatibility tests, antibody screen tests. Yan. So, antibody screen test, guys, mga blood bank lang gumagawa. So, ang sad, guys, kasi sa US, sa Australia, antibody screen is already a routine. Yan. So, if you're negative with antibody screen, they don't perform compatibility test already. As priority nila mag-perform ng antibody screen. And it's routine for them. Number 24, match the following HIV laws and newborn screening laws. Kanina, napag-usapan na natin yung newborn screening. So, I'll give you time to answer. So, ito. So, these are new laws. Yan. AO 27, 2017. Fairly new sa Pilipinas. AO 2014, 31. A504, 9288, 2019. Okay. So, policies in art among people living with HIV and HIV-exposed infants. So guys, as medical technologists, yan, we are part of promoting the testing and therapy of HIV. Yan. So ito yung mga guidelines natin. We have Newborn Screening Act of 2004, Philippine AIDS Prevention and Control Act of 1998. So matagal na to itong batas na to, pero I'm glad talaga ang raming administrative order na nag-a-update nito. We have policies on HIV testing services in health facilities. Yan. So, and we also have guidelines on the implementation of rapid HIV diagnostic algorithm. Yan. So, ito yung isa sa mga gusto kong ituro. Yan. So, yung 2017, it's HIV testing services in health facilities. If I'm not mistaken, this is also a response, guys, on universal healthcare. ART is 2014. Yan yung memorize nyo kaya to. 2019, 1 lang kaya to talaga. Yan, check natin. Yan, guidelines on implementation of RIB. So, RIVDA, tama, 2019-1. Mapadali yung pag-memorize nyo. So, RIVDA is the new buzzword sa HIV. Pag-aaralan natin yan. RA 8504 is your newborn screening. Your AIDS pala. And 9288 is your newborn screening act, 2000. Okay. So, back then, guys, how does testing HIV occur in the Philippines? Yan. Back then, guys, ang tagal. Okay? So, what is the confirmatory test for HIV? Yan. So, we have Western blot. Yan. At nasabi ng WHO, maraming false positive. So, sa Western blot, nagre-result ng positive, pero sa totoong buhay naman, hindi naman talaga positive yung pasyente. Yan. Pero yun yung mga kahinaan dati, guys, ng dating algorithm ng testing sa Pilipinas. What else, guys? Matagal yung resulta. Kasi once, so nag-counsel ka, tapos magpa-perform ka ng screening test. Pag positive yung pasyente, ire-refer mo na agad sa San Lazaro Hospital. Tapos, yung San Lazaro, they will perform immunoassays. Tapos, magpo-perform sila ng Western blot. Yan. So, matagal to. Yan, 7 to 10 working days. So, and actually, sometimes the patient, especially kung andito sa Baguio City, they have to wait 1 month to 3 months. So, ang nangyayari doon, minsan, yan, nawawala ng pag-asa yung pasyente sa tagal ng result o kaya they tend to pass it to other people. Yan. Since or they are not counseled na positive na pala sila. So, ang raming buwan, ang raming nasasayang na oras because of the national HIV testing algorithm back then. Okay? But guys, due to because of this administrative order of 2019. Yan. So, AO1 series of 2019. So, ito yung number 1 priority nila ng 2019. 1 Yan. So, talagang palitan. I-revamp, guys, yung algorithm for HIV testing. And now, it's called REVDA. Yan. So, dapat alam nyo kung ano ang REVDA. So, ang update na ngayon, so WHO said that yun, ang raming false positive sa HIV, sa Western blot, yan. So, ano pa ba? And sabi naman ng recommended na actually ng WHO that rapid diagnostic tests are specific, they are sensitive, and it has a shorter turnaround time. Yan. So, yung mga rapid kit natin, yung mga mukhang pregnancy kit, the technology is increasing. It's becoming better and more specific already. So, having these devices, itong mga kits na to, yan, dito sa baba, is enough already. You don't have to send it to San Lazaro and Sakal anymore. Okay? So, dito rin is na papalakasin dahil sa RIBDA guys, papalakasin ang HIV counseling. So now, we have HIV counseling seminars. And you should be proficient in HIV counseling. For testing, guys, back then, there is HIV proficiency. Yan. But now, yan, they're trying to make it obsolete because you don't have to know Western blot assay anymore since there are a lot of false positive anyway. Okay? So, ito. Simulan natin. So now, how does the new algorithm happen? So, paano na nangyayari, guys? So, example, may isang laboratory. It's a non-CRCL, ibig sabihin non-confirmatory laboratory. Kunyari, isang session diagnostic laboratory. Yan. So, may HIV testing sila. So, mayroong pumasok na pasyente, kinounsel nila. So, pag nag-negative, negative na talaga yung pasyente dun sa screening test nila. Pag positive, guys, i-refer na agad nila sa San Lazaro ba? No. To a certified RIVDA confirmatory laboratory. So, in Baguio City, meron tayong CRCL or confirmatory lab, which is BGH. Ayan. So, nag-positive ka na dun sa test kit na meron ka, ibigay mo na sa BGH. Yun. So, meron akong kakilalang laboratory, guys, na meron silang dalawang kit. Positive sa isang kit at negative sa isang kit. Yan. So, mix yung result. So, hindi niya alam gagawin. Gusto niya i-refer sa BGH. Pero ayaw tanggapin ng BGH kasi dapat daw positive sa dalawang test. So, what she did is she found other rapid diagnostic kits. So, dapat, guys, sa mga laboratory who are performing HIV kit, dapat marami kang iba't ibang brand. Yan. So, kunyari, dapat ang best, actually, dapat 3. Yan. Para, kung, kung negative sa, kung negative sa isa, okay na yun. Pero kung positive, negative, tapos positive, at least, 2 positive. Ganun. So, yan. Pwede mo na i-refer sa BGH. And they have T1 test. So, yung assay na yun is Sysmex, itong brand na to. They have T2 and T3. Yan. So, pamahal itong mga kits na to, pero pataas ng pataas yung generation niya. Ibig sabihin, tumataas yung specificity. Yan. So, pag test 1, yan, negative, it's non-reactive. Pero, repeat test pa rin. Pag nag-positive, T2 ka naman, yan. Pag nag-negative, non-reactive yun. Dapat, sa 3 test is positive talaga. Yan. Pero pag sa T3, negative, inconclusive. Pero sa 3, positive is positive ka talaga. Yan. So, ayun, mas mabilis guys kasi rapid diagnostic kit. So, if I'm not mistaken, kung titingnan natin, within 3 hours, within 24 hours, may result ka na. 'Di ba? Unlike days, yan ang hinihintay nung tao, nung pasyente natin. Yan. So, that's the Rapid HIV Diagnostic Algorithm. So, algorithm means my framework, my guide. Yan tayo sa algorithm eh. Yan rin isa sa mga usong salita ngayon. So, number 25, DOH Memorandum 01154 series of 2012 included which of the following disease in the newborn screen panel of disorder because it appeared to be the most common in the Philippines. So, ano yung binantog daw nila in 2012? Kasi yun ang isang common na metabolic disorder sa Pilipinas. Yan, ang galing nito. At least na-detect nila. Okay, na ito pala ang pinaka-common sa Pilipinas. G6PD guys, phenylketonuria, galactosemia, hypothyroidism, MSUD. So actually, it's MCV. Yan. So nagulat rin ako dito. So yan, it should be done within 24 hours. So if the patient, yan, within 24 hours after birth or within 3 days, yan. Pag nasa NICU yung pasyente, yan, if there is a more important medical emergency, kahit within 7 days. So from 6 diseases, because of updates in newborn screening, 28 diseases na ang ini-screen and it's covered by PhilHealth, guys. So, I just want to share itong mga Administrative Order 25 series of 2018. So, we have a national policies and strategy framework on expanded newborn screening. So, we have a strategy up to 2030. Yan. So, they want to make it very comprehensive. Yan. Talagang everyone would really have, every Filipino would really have access to newborn screening, that it would have a nationwide coverage. Yan. So, alam ko, kung hindi ako nagkakamali guys, yung confirmatory ng pinakamalapit sa Luzon is sa Pampanga ha. Yun yung pinaka-last kong update dyan. So, honestly, I'm not really well-versed at newborn screening. Medyo lang nababali-balita. Kasi nurse ang gumagawa naman talaga nito in practice. Sila yung nagko-collect, guys. It's not in the laboratory. So, Administrative Order 52 series of 2020 revised guidelines on the implementation of expanded newborn screening program. Yan. Guidelines, yan, since na-expand, it was increased from 1.5 to 1.750. Yan, may mga newborn screening package. And I think they added more. So, number 26, guys. So, sa naman tayo, Dangerous Drug Act. Which of the following is the procedure to account for the integrity of each specimen or aliquot by tracking and storage from point of specimen to final disposition of the specimen or aliquot? Yeah. So, you account. You monitor, you supervise the integrity by tracking and storage by tracking and storage from point of specimen from the point of specimen collection to final disposition of the specimen or aliquot. Yan, memorandum for record ba, tampered specimen forms, yan, ID TOMIS ba, integrated drug testing operation management information system, or chain of custody. Yan. Lagi ito tinatanong. So, chain of custody is the act of accounting to who were the people who received the specimen. Yan. They are tracking the whereabouts of each specimen. Ma'am, why? Sa Dangerous Drug Act. Bakit kailangan i-monitor kung saan pupunta yung ihi ng pasyente, yung sample ng patient? Because this chain of custody is an important evidence, guys, for convicting a person, and especially if there would be a trial sa kanyang drug case at positive siya. Yan. So, this could be used as an evidence. So, if the chain of custody, guys, is not well accounted for, yan, so it will not be used as an legal evidence. Okay? So, ayun, ma'am, what else? Why should we track it? Yan, so that to make sure that the specimen was not tampered. Kasi pwedeng sabihin yun yung pasyente talagang true positive naman siya. Pero i-claim ng lawyer niya, no, the specimen was tampered. But a proof of the disproving the tampering, yan. Pag sinabi nating tampering na dilute daw yung specimen o kaya someone added drugs in it, yan, ganyan, tampered it, adulterants, yan. So, to make sure na hindi nga na-edit yung specimen natin is, yun, kailangan may chain of custody. Itong information system na guys na ito is, this is the information system where all the people who got drug tested will be inputted in this information system. Yeah. So your MFR, yan. So guys, legal document talaga pag nag-release tayo ng drug testing result. Yan. So kailangan, if you have committed any errors, the authorized specimen collector made an error, ganyan. So, kailangan gumawa na sila ng memorandum for record, yan. So, kunyari may erasure, kailangan gumawa ng MFR to ensure, kasi nga, lahat ng files for drug testing is used as an evidence in court. Okay. How long will be the validity of drug test results? So, kayo guys, pag nagpa-record pa ba sa internship magpa-drug test? So, back then ako, sa amin record. So, how long is the validity? Yan. So, 1 year lang. Yan. Dapat nga shorter eh. Okay. Number 28. All licensed Filipino medical technologies could issue a valid drug testing result. Guys, lahat. So, pag nagka-lisensya na kayo, could you release, yan, sorry nakakalimutan ko, a valid drug testing result? Yan, true or false? Yan. So, actually, all license, dapat false to. Sorry. Loco gel. Yan, dapat false. So, you could not release careful ha. So, ako rin careful. So, you could not release a valid drug testing result unless you had a training for drug testing proficiency. Guys, malaki ang responsibility para mag-test ng drugs. Okay? Kailangan proficient ka. Yan. So, yun. So, this is just a fair warning, especially if you would graduate and you would work in a laboratory, especially if there is drug testing, tapos ikaw ang pinakabata doon, tapos sasabihin sa'yo, ikaw ang mag-collect ng specimen, ikaw maging specimen collector, ganyan. Ikaw magbantay saglit ng drug testing lab, yan. So, the answer should be no, guys. If you are not yet proficient, you should be far away from a drug testing facility, especially if you're not proficient. Kahit sabihin sa'yo na gumawa ka lang ng mga little stuff sa drug testing, yan, andun ang pangalan mo, ay may pipirmahan ka, don't do it, especially if you are not yet proficient. There is a big responsibility, okay, in releasing drug test result, okay? So, kung hindi ka pa proficient, do not touch anything drug testing related, ha? Naiintindihan ba yun, guys, ha? So, kasi kayong mga bata, malalakas pang loob natin eh. Pero yun nga, guys, pag tumatanda talaga is, you would be more concerned. Sayang naman yung pinaghirapan nyo kung sa drug testing lang kayo, hindi kayo proficient, eh, gumalaw kayo doon, okay? So, ito guys, issuance of fraudulent drug test result. So, it's fraudulent when a non-proficient medtech performed it. Yan. Failure to protect the confidentiality of drug test result. Failure to participate or pass in proficiency testing. Yan. So, proficiency testing I think, ito yung sinasabi niya, yung sa quality testing. So, hindi ka pa ba siya? Number 4. Conviction of laboratory owner or manager for any criminal offense committed as incident to the laboratory operation. Yan. Sana you are reading with me. Failure to refer positive screening test result to a confirmatory lab. So guys, ang maraming responsibility. So pag positive test result, kailangan ipa-confirmatory. Okay? Baka dahil kasi jowa mo, Yan, hindi mo na-report na guys, do not do anything fraudulent in the laboratory. Yan, may nabalitaan ako, nag-release siya ng positive result in parasitology. Ginawa niyang positive for a parasite yung kaaway niya. Yan, nakalimutan ko yung mga specific, pero yung ganun. Yan, nahuli siya at intern pa lang siya. So, yan. So, ano ka pa lang, intern ka pa lang, you're doing something illegal. Paano na pag license ka na? 'Di ba guys? So, wag niyo sisimulan. Number 6, any cause affecting the ability of the laboratory to ensure reliability and accuracy of drug test results. Yan. So, let's maintain the integrity of our drug test results. Yan. Kasi minsan nga, pag may human factor na di ba, may emosyon, tapos may nasaktan, na-betray, umibig, ganyan, di ba, nagiging tainted na yung mga resulta, hindi naging logical. Anyway, number 7, refusal to allow survey and monitoring of laboratory by the PHFS. So, dapat, nagpapa-inspect. Number 8, any act contrary to accepted clinical laboratory practices, failure on the part of the laboratory to submit quality control program. You know, guys, napakalagay pala yan sa DOH. Hindi natin pinapansin yung mga quality control, ganyan. But guys, that ensures the validity of our drug test results. Balang araw, papansinin nyo na rin yan. Ito, guys. In the implementing rules and regulations of our RA 11223. Kulang ako ng 2, sorry. So, sa Universal Care Act, yan. So, Healthcare Act, there is a mandatory reporting of notifiable diseases and health events of public concern act. Which of the following is not a notifiable disease? Guys, please, I want to teach this talaga. Hindi man lumabas sa board exam, dapat alam nyo. Kasi may medtech na nagkamali. So, just an update. And this is a final coaching, not only in the review, but also in life, guys, na wag padalos-dalos. Kasi, guys, may 26 na sakit na minomonitor ang epidemiology office natin nationwide. Okay? Batas to. If you fail to report it, itong mga diseases na to, hindi ko alam ang consequence. Okay? Pero napaka-irresponsibilidad natin as healthcare, as healthcare professional, hindi lang kayo pag magiging medtech, magiging doktor kayo. Dapat ini-inform ang epidemiology office. So, ang isip natin, guys, sana intindihin nyo ko na hindi lang ang utak natin nasa laboratory lang, okay? We have a responsibility to public health. Yan. So, kung sino man ang unang makanood ng video na to, yan. So, could you send me a PM? Kung sino unang magsisend sa akin ng PM, could you send me the word 26 notifiable diseases? 26 notifiable diseases. Sino unang mag-PM sa akin? Bibigyan ko ng 100 pesos GCash. Yan. PM nyo ako sa FB, Angelina Lanha. Okay, kung sino unang tignan natin, unang makanood nitong final coaching na to, yan, send me the word 26 notifiable diseases. And kung sino unang mag-send sa akin, I will send them 100 pesos GCash. Yan natin. Sino manonood ng final coaching na to. So, which of the following is not a notifiable disease? So, out of the 26, alin ang hindi kasama doon? Yan. So, yung mga lifestyle diseases, hindi kasama, guys. The common infectious diseases, even sore eyes. So, I want to discuss this, yan, because I want to update you, guys, on what's happening. So, ang mga medtech, we are active participants of public health, okay? We are important partners. So, ang kwento sa akin ng epidemiology office, yan, may patient daw na positive for malaria. So apparently, itong medtech na ito, naitapon niya yung smear na positive for malaria, guys. And kailangan kasi ng positive smear for malaria, kailangan mo to ipakita sa specific office para malibre ka ng malaria treatment. Yan. So, yun. So, yung patient, medtech natapon niya nga. So, tinatry nilang kumuha ulit ng blood na positive for malaria. Yun, nahirapan na sila. Baka naging hypnozoids na yung mga gametocytes. So, hindi na nila makita sa blood smear. Yan. So, hindi ko alam. Baka yung medtech ang nagbayad ng treatment ng pasyente. Yan, ganon. So, we have to notify we are important partners for public health. So, especially, guys, mga foodborne disease. If you have seen a pattern of amoebiasis, yan, you should report it to the epidemiology office near you. Yan. So, ito yung 26 na notifiable diseases. Yan, guys. Basahin nga natin sabay-sabay. Acute respiratory infection, influenza, bird flu, chickenpox, cholera. Yan. Pag nakakita ka na ng rice watery stool, mahalaga na report yan. Dengue, diarrhea. Dengue is so common, right? Pero nire-report yan kung ilan ang cases nyo ng dengue. Huwag niyo kakalimutan yan, guys. Diarrhea, diphtheria, Ebola, hand, foot, and mouth disease, Hepa A, B, C, HIV, may nag-positive, kailangan i-report yan, okay? Influenza, leprosy, malaria, measles, meningococcemia, pertussis, polio, rabies, SARS, sore eyes, TB, typhoid, fever. Yan. So, pag may nag-positive sa mga typhoid natin, kailangan i-report, guys. Because these are infectious diseases and the epidemiology office wants to limit the spread of these diseases. So, magiging part kayo noon. Diba? Para hindi na kumalat. Number 30, guys. Who is the founding father of PAMET? So, dapat si Crisanto Almario. Nardito Moraleta is the second PAMET president. Charlemagne is the first PAMET president. Carmencita is the longest running PAMET president, 10 years. Luella Vertucio is the present PAMET president. So, hindi na si Ronaldo Puno. Yan. Matagal siya, pero hindi siya yung president. Okay. Hindi si Romel Salceda. Natapos na siya last year. So, si Luella na. So, siya na ang magiging bagong face ng safeguard. So, yun. Malay nyo, guys. Baka gusto nyo maging PAMET president. Yan. So, there are a lot of perks when becoming PAMET president. Guys, ako, board of director ako ng PAMET Baguio, yan, Benguet, Baguio Mountain Province Chapter. Yan. So, mga 3 taon na akong, guys, officer, and there's so many perks, guys, on being a PAMET officer. So, not only perks, yan, you could travel, yan, you could have free seminars, pero kasi nga, you organize the seminars. Talagang kailangan mo rin mag-sacrifice. Pero the network, the learning that I have learned because of becoming a PAMET officer, ang rami niyang benefits, guys. So, be part of a PAMET. Baka naririnig na kayong mga issue, ganyan. But so far, PAMET is the official organization of Medtech, and may ambag siya, guys. So, yung mga PT, yan. So, I have colleagues, di ba, na mga physical therapists, ang hina-hina ng association nila. At least tayo, PAMET, has influence, yan. And at maraming pa-seminar, yan, that you could avail. And sa mga PT, guys, ang hina, wala masyadong seminar because nga, mahina pa yung association nila eh. Wala pang influence. So, yun. Let's maximize it. This is a blessing. Okay? Yan. So, kung gusto niyo maging PAMHET officer, yan, go. So, ang nag-push sa akin maging PAMHET officer, si VP Dan Flonogan. Grabe. Yan. Wala akong, I'm so blessed that some people who are around me push me to become better, di ba? So I'm pushing you. Professional. Yan, pushing you na, maraming benefit maging PAMHET officer. Number 31, which of the following is the last word in panunumpa ng professional? Yan. So, yan. So, bahala kayo kung gusto niyo memorize to. Pero, ito yung panunumpa. Yan. Repeat after me. Ako si, banggitin ang pangalan, ng ay taimtim na nanunumpa na itataguyod ko at ipagtatanggol ang saligang batas ng Pilipinas na ko ay tunay na mananalig at tatalima rito. Nasusundin ko ang mga batas, mga utos na legal, at mga atas na ipinahayag ng mga sadyang tinakdang may kapangyarihan ng Republika ng Pilipinas. Ang hindi ulit para sa kasabay ako, hindi papasa. Charot. At kusa kong babalikatin ang mga pananamputang ito na walang anumang pasubali o hangaring umiwas. Taimtim pa rin akong manunumpa na lahat ng panahon at pook na kinaroonan ay mahigpit akong manghahawakan sa mga etikal at tuntuning profesional ng mga Medtech sa Pilipinas. At marapat kong gagampanan ng husay sa abot ng aking makakaya ang mga tungkulin at pananagutang iniatang sa isang tinakdang Medtech. Kasihan nawa ako ng Diyos. Yan. May the Lord have mercy on me. Okay. Yan. Hindi amen. Okay. Diyos ang huling word. Okay. So, ito yung oath-taking na tinitake ng mga medtech, lahat ng professional. Yan. So, there should be a board of medical technologists present or a authorized PRC. Yan. Oath-taking. Yan. So, in your Organization Act, what is the term used in RA 770 for a deceased individual? Yan, yung mga terms. Testator, next of kin, donor, coroner, decedent. What is the term used? So, ano bang testator? Yan. Decedent is the deceased individual. Siya yung magbibigay ng organ. Okay? So, decedent, a deceased individual includes a stillborn infant or fetus. What is a testator? A person who makes a legacy of all or part of his body. So, testator is still alive. Okay? So, they want to donate their organs. Yan. So, donor, an authorized individual who can donate all part of the body of who can donate all part of the body of others. Authorized donor is an authorized individual, so hindi not necessarily sila. So even the family. So may coroner, so sa autopsy to. So coroner is not a doctor, it is a elected individual. So sila yung nag-i-investigate ng manner of death. So if there is a foul play, yan. And the pathologist or medical examiner will determine the cause of death through autopsy. So itong coroner and pathologist they are not part of organ donation. Okay. So sa autopsy sila. Pero yun lang yung mga terms. Okay. So, next tayo sa bioethics. So, guys, marami daw lumalabas na bioethics question. Number 33, a mother comes to the ER with her 15-year-old baby with a lesion on his groin. The mother tells the baby is not his usual active. ER doctor on physical examination finds the baby alert, pink, and active. Sends him back home. Okay, pinauwi ng doktor. Okay naman daw. Although, nurse in ER had noticed the lesion in the groin and suspects that her previous experience, yung nurse, may alam siya. That such lesions in units, if not treated timely, led to fatal outcomes. Yan. May idea yung nurse. Pero umuwi pa rin yung pasyente. Baby returns in ER after 24 hours with many lesions now on his trunk, severe breathlessness, cyanosed, and unconscious. The healthcare providers were liable for the following. Yan. Were they negligent? Were they unprofessional? Did they assaulted the baby or the mother? Or they're unmotivated? Thanks, were they negligent sa ginawa nila? Or ang term, unprofessional sila sa ginawa nila? Pinauwi nila yung baby. Pero alam naman ng ER nurse na, yung lesions na yun hindi okay. Was there assault or are they unmotivated? So the correct term is they were negligent because they failed to do the correct thing even though they know they had the power to do it. So yeah. So when you do not do the things that you should supposed to do, you become negligent. So when we say unprofessional naman, it usually pertains to behavior. So you become rude, yan, or malicious, ganyan. Or harassing, ganyan. How you socially interact with other people. Usually yung unprofessional. Assault is when usually it results to violence, unmotivated, yan, hindi gumagalaw. So more on negligent. 34. When is the incorrect time to override the truth? Telling principle. Yan. Kailan daw incorrect time, wrong timing to override veracity or truth telling, or simply put, when is the right time to lie to your patient? So, when is the right time to lie to your patient? When speaking to patients with cancer or AIDS. If the patients are from Wuhan, China, pwede kang mag-lie ba? If the child is scared to have their vaccine, you could lie. Never lie to your patients. When is the right time to override the truth? Yan. So, sagot dyan, guys. Never lie to your patient. Marami pang talagang debate about veracity, telling the truth to the patients. But talagang mostly the result is it's better to not lie to your patients. Yan. So, I'm reading a journal article. What if daw that this husband and wife has already retired and they are planning to go around the world and go to a cruise. Talagang gusto nilang magbakasyon na silang dalawa lang. And before going to that trip, they went to the doctor and apparently the guy has metastatic cancer. Yan. So sa stomach. So, should the doctor lie? Yan, and not tell the patient so that they could continue to go to their cruise and enjoy their retirement? Or should the doctor tell the patient that the patient has cancer? Yan. So, lie ba o tell the patient has cancer? So, sabi sa journal, guys, na if the doctor will lie, they would go to the trip indeed, yan, mag-enjoy sila. However, if there is a medical emergency, the patient is far from home and is in a cruise. So, it could cause more harm than good actually. Pwede rin na pag sinabi daw nung doctor sa patient na naging honest na lang siya, is the couple would rethink about their trip na is it still their priority to go on a vacation, or is it their baka they would change their priority to visit their the granddaughters instead, or to spend it with the family instead of going to travel, yung parang ganun. So parang never the best practice is never lie to your patients. Yan. So back then, yan, my lolo and his brother went to a driving trip. Yan, nag-drive sila. Tapos, may lolo na-car accident sila. Magkapatid. At yung lolo ko yung driver, yung kapatid niya yung namatay. Yan. So, yung lolo ko, Talagang nag-overtake siya sa isang truck ata at kasalanan talaga ng lolo ko, yan. So, siya lang yung nag-survive dun sa car accident at the family chose that a doctor will lie or not or withhold the truth to my lolo, yan, na namatay yung kapatid niya for the first few days. But eventually, they told the truth. Ganun. So, yun. So, may timing rin naman ang pagsabi ng truth. Okay? The doctor was not necessarily lying. They're just withholding the truth, but they should give it at the right time. Yan. So, you should also practice, guys. Pwede magsabi ng katotohanan, okay? Pero i-timing nyo naman, di ba? You could confront someone, yan, but do it lovingly and gently. Yan. So, you should also practice discernment and wisdom. Number 35, which is incorrect regarding giving informed consent. So, when we give informed consent, yan, the patients practice autonomy, diba? They have the right to decide. So letter A comes with a caveat that patient cannot change his mind. B, it should be without pressure and coercion. Letter C, given by a patient with capacity for such decision. Letter D, given in background of sufficient counseling. Which of the following is incorrect regarding giving informed consent? Okay. It comes with caveat that patient cannot change his mind. Yan. So, the patient could change his mind. So, kahit na wala sa research to or medical procedure, kahit halfway ka na, if the patient or almost done ka na, if the patient suddenly has changed his mind, you should stop doing what you're doing to that patient. Okay. At that's the end of the review. Yan. So guys, thank you for just going over this final coaching. I hope I have updated you. Yan yung especially dun sa updated na classification ng laboratory sa RA 11223, sa REVDA. Yan. Sana may mauwi kayo. And I'm just rooting for you. Yan. Sana kung face-to-face to, talagang marami ang ipapabigay na GCash. Pero, yan. Guys, I'm just rooting for you and would be praying for you. Yan. So, huwag niyo kakalimutan. Guys, so I'll see you again. Yan. So, please say hi pag nagkasalubong tayo. Bye, guys.